Hi everyone, and thank you for joining us today. If you find that your current cash reconciliation process is tedious and time-consuming, and you're looking for ways to turn this into a simpler and more efficient process, you've joined the right session. I'm Carole Darcy, Senior Manager and Solution Specialist here at Nolan, and we'll be joined a little later by Andy Hall, Nolan's Head of Support and Product Development. During the first session of half of our session, we will review the various types of cash reconciliation and best practices around completing those. And in the second half of our session, Andy will join me for a live discussion so we can share stories of Nolan customers that have used our tools and expertise to take full control of various cash reconciliation processes. If you're not already familiar with our organization, Nolan Business Solution is a Microsoft certified partner in several competency areas, including enterprise resource planning and data analytics. We have a worldwide presence, including a corporate office in the UK, physical office in North America, in Boulder, Colorado, and we also have a remote presence in Canada and Australia. In addition to providing Dynamics GP consulting services, Nolan specializes in the development of add-on solutions for Dynamics GP. Our solutions include our advanced bank reconciliation solution, which will be the focus of our session today, which helps customers with the process of reconciling their cash position. We have also an electronic payment solution to support electronic payment of vendors, both domestically and internationally. And our intercompany series of product, which help with the automation and processing of intercompany related transactions. Today, though, let's spend a little bit of time on the advanced bank reconciliation topic. Perhaps the simple thought of daily cash reconciliation brings on this face for some of you. If that is the case, we're here to hopefully change that and get you thinking more like this. Cash reconciliation? No problem. I got this. So when we think about cash reconciliation, our accountant's mind often goes to bank account reconciliation. That good old month-end reconciliation process that ensures our bank statement activity is correctly and timely recorded in the GL. There are underlying cash reconciliations that are just as important in order to effectively run our business every day. In today's world, online orders, online payment options are becoming the norm for our customers, and we see an increasing number of organizations coming to us for advice on how to manage the reconciliation of those merchant gateways and resulting fund deposits into the bank account. Even though this dilemma might have existed before, lower volume associated with these types of transactions made it a manageable process. But it is not rare today to be talking to a Dynamics GP user that runs tens of thousands of credit card transactions a day. Then on this flip side of the coin, banks and suppliers are now providing organizations with the opportunity to pay for merchandise and supplies using credit cards as well. So similarly, organizations are looking for simpler ways of reconciling those transactions and associated credit card vendor payments. So clearly, today's cash reconciliation process is no longer a month-end necessary audit exercise. It has truly become imperative to reconcile all sources of cash daily in order to more effectively run a business. So, what is cash reconciliation? What should the best practice process look like? We all know that the main purpose of the cash reconciliation process is to ascertain that a company's general ledger is complete and accurate by comparing it to its associated bank or credit card statement, depending on the type of transaction we're trying to reconcile. Ideally, we want to automate this cash reconciliation process as much as we can to allow the accounting staff to really focus on much more strategic business tasks. So I keep referring to automation. What do I mean by automation? First off, in an ideal world, we would see an automated data feed of our bank data directly from the financial institution into our ERP system. Then, existing GL transactions are automatically matched based on a set of matching criteria. You want your reconciliation tool to be able to support high volume of transactions and complex auto-matching rules. When I say complex auto matching rules, I mean that your engine should be able to support non-standard references, many-to-one matching, netting of transactions, amount tolerances. Then, from the remaining list of bank and credit card transactions that did not already find a corresponding match in the GL, we should be able to automatically post any recurring type transactions, such as bank fees, sweep account fund transfers, automated customer payments, as an example. I'd like to say that wherever data logic can be seen on the statement, a human brain shouldn't be required. We should be able to automate that. Then there's always the one-off cash transactions, but hopefully if you have strong auto matching rules and auto posting rules, those remaining transactions should be minimal. Having said that, there's always going to be a need for a simple and quick adjusting process for those remaining transactions that ideally requires just minimal clicks to update the GL and ultimately get you to that daily cash reconciled position quickly and efficiently. Oh, and let's not forget that throughout this process, you need a detailed enough audit trail that will facilitate full and real-time visibility into your cash position daily. Dynamics GP does have a bank reconciliation function. However, as most of you should be able to attest, it has some limitation. And truthfully, when I talk to Dynamics GP users, there's a 50-50% chance that they will even prefer to use Excel for their bank reconciliation process. The challenge, even though we all love our Excel, the challenge with Excel is that the level of data manipulation and user intervention still required to complete that reconciliation task makes this still really prone to errors and also a very time-consuming process in most instances. With Dynamics GP, there are no direct bank connectivity options with the GP module. The bank data needs to be manipulated and in some way manually uploaded in GP, and that all introduces a risk of errors. The next one is the biggest challenge in my opinion. It's the need to flow all cash transactions through the checkbook before hitting your GL. Not only is this a big challenge when needing to import transactions from external systems, but it forces you to keep a three-way reconciliation process between the three separate data sets in Dynamics GP. And then the overall reconciliation function itself has several limitations. But you might wonder, why does that matter? It matters because it means that a higher percentage of your data must be manually matched and adjusted to your GL. And this is what makes your reconciliation process so daunting. So if you're looking for a solution that will help automate your cash reconciliation process, not only for bank accounts, but also credit card merchant gateways and corporate credit card reconciliation, Nolan's advanced bank reconciliation module is an option you should explore. First, with our module, your GL transactions are extracted to the reconcile screen for the date range that you want to reconcile. Our process is not necessarily tied to a fiscal period and can therefore be completed daily, weekly, or for whatever date range you see fit. Then, a few bank or credit card statement import options are available to you. You always have the option to manually import a consolidated bank file that you download from your bank portal in order to import all your bank accounts at once, saving you already a lot of time. And we support many file formats, including BAI, CSV file formats, which are the most common ones that we encounter. But if you're looking for a more fully automated process, we can also offer a statement direct module through our Nolan Cloud Services platform. The idea here is that leveraging an SFTP connection to your bank, we pull the bank file into Nolan Cloud Services, and then through a secured authentication-based process, we synchronize that data to your Dynamics GP environment. And then once we have our two data set, we use our auto matching rule engine to auto match existing transaction using a combination of multiple matching criteria that you predefined. Then our auto post function will automatically update the GL for any recurring type transactions. And then as a final step, All new GL entries or posting adjustments can be processed directly from the reconcile window and then gets you to that daily reconcile position much more effectively. I'm going to take a few minutes here to give you a sneak peek of our product. So here's a screenshot of our reconcile window with a nice side-by-side view of your GL transaction on the left-hand side and the associated bank data on the right-hand side. On the GL side, we do a direct reconciliation to the GL account. This means that if you need to enter or integrate cash transactions from an external system, such as a payroll, credit card, or cash sales, you don't have to jump through hoops in order to record this in GP as a checkbook entry. You can simply enter or import as journal entries. And as far as ABR is concerned, it doesn't matter where the GL entry originates from. If it's in the GL, it needs to be reconciled. Then on the bank side, as mentioned previously, we offer superior import options, including an automated bank feed with Statement Direct and Nolan Cloud Services. So the first step of our reconciliation process is about auto-matching as many existing transactions as possible. ABR's flexible auto-matching rules allows you to combine multiple criteria, such as amount, transaction date, document, and or check number, and even a reference or description to help ensure the most accurate matching results. ABR also supports automated grouping of transactions, eliminating the need to manually group individual transaction before it can be matched to a corresponding consolidated amount on the bank side. Amount or percentage tolerance can also be set to automate the posting of immaterial differences that shouldn't require your attention or the extra step of creating manual posting adjustments. And then during the matching process, another important element here for audit purposes is the way we assign a unique sequential match ID to every transaction match between the two data sets. Really, this is important for audit trail and reporting purposes. So now using that reconciliation detail, we can more effectively respond to an inquiry about a cash transaction or create cash reconciliation report using smart lists. The next step is about auto posting any remaining bank transactions that might be recurring in nature. Perfect examples of recurring transactions would be bank fees, sweep account transfers, to only name a few. So if there is a recurring element in the transaction type associated with the bank transaction or in its reference or description, a posting mapping table can be set up at the account level to automatically generate journal entries to the specified posting account. Now at this stage, between auto-matching the existing GL transaction and auto-posting the recurring ones, one would hope that you have automated your reconciliation process for a significant percentage of your data. So you're now left with a limited number of remaining transactions, one-off, one-time GL adjustment, and that's really, when you think about it, the only thing that you should focus your energy on. But even with these transactions, you need those handled effectively, and we can do that right from the reconcile window. New journal entries and adjustments can easily be processed by selecting an individual or group of transactions and click the GL transaction icon to auto-populate the transaction entry window with most element of the transaction. Once all our bank transactions are accounted for in the GL, a reconciled cash position is achieved, and we're ready to move forward to our next reconciliation. In summary, Nolan ABR offers many features that can truly make your reconciliation process effortless. Leveraging this enhanced bank reconciliation functionality combined with the cash management expertise of our team, we can truly help you turn this tedious and time-consuming task into a few simple steps. At this time, we will transition to our live portion of this session where Andy will join me so we can share interesting stories of customers that have used our advanced bank reconciliation module to take full control of various reconciliation processes.
Well, hi everyone. It looks like we're
Still waiting for Andy.
One, I'm in. Oh, I'm in
There
now.
he is.
The
It's like,
wonders of modern technology. Yeah.
where's my friend? So, hi everyone. Thanks again for giving us the opportunity here, the DynamicsCon team, to participate in what looked like it's going to be a great event. As a follow-up here to our earlier session, Andy and I are going to share a couple stories. We're going to have Derek come in and share a few questions. So if you have any questions from the recorded portion or anything Andy and I are discussing, feel free to drop them in the chat. We're going to have Derek, a colleague of ours, join us in a little bit to address those questions. And then we got a couple interesting conclusion points as well. So thanks, Andy, for joining me today. Let's talk a little bit about some of our customer stories. I'm going to share my screen here as a reference point to all of you in attendance. All right. So yeah, so let's talk about a couple of success stories about bank reconciliation in our tool, Andy. There's one customer I have in mind, and maybe I'll kick it off. Have a customer in mind that had multiple companies with daily sweep account transfers over about 30 GP databases. So they needed to automate the existing process was very manual, where they would have to basically have someone enter all those sweep account transfers in each of the databases. So with our tool, both advanced bank rec and intercompany postings, in this case, we were able to have them import one bank statement into the main parent company, and leveraging both our auto post of bank transfers and intercompany module, essentially kind of trigger and simplify that process and automate the posting of all of these transactions throughout. So something that would take, a couple of hours of somebody in the accounting team to process would basically be accomplished by the click of a button. Tell us more about this story, Andy, with the truck company.
Okay, so this one's quite interesting. This is not bank rec, as you know. This is more looking at it holistically. So with this particular company, they're a very well-known trucking company over in the UK. They process thousands of transactions a month, and they basically sell trucks, but they do what we call an MOT over here, which is a regular test, say it's roadworthy. They also do parts and servicing and things like that. And so everything goes through, and then at the end of the month, all the billing comes out of another system, gets pumped into GP, and they spend the whole month reconciling all of this lot together to be able to get their month-end accounts and everything else. So in this case, because it wasn't just GP, we had to look at it holistically, at the whole process, and find a key to the whole thing, like a primary key constraint if you're talking in like SQL terms or something like that. So in this case, it's vehicle registration numbers. In the UK, they're all unique. I'm assuming it's the same in the US, otherwise there's not much point in them. But they were able to put that all the way through. It's already in the billing system, but it just wasn't coming through to GP. So we could put that into the integration to GP, quick tweak, into the reference field. That goes all the way through. We can then download from the bank, import in with those registration numbers, everything matched up. And of course, we can do the cash receipts as well. They're coming in with the auto post feature. And again, they were all able to auto apply. So through this process, we've managed to do 3 processes by looking at it holistically and finding that key thing, and all of it automated, going through, saving them loads of time and money. And I think the thing to take from that is it doesn't just have to be bank stuff. It can be anything cash related, gateway related, or even not cash. You can just reconcile to a GL account. Because of the auto post and the import, you can bring in from another system and say, has that hit that GL account? And great.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, no, we've definitely here as well had a lot of clients use our tool in a very unique way. But more and more, we seem to be able to help clients, customer story number 3 here, with credit card merchant gateway reconciliation, right? Like I mentioned earlier in the session, it's not just bank, as you're suggesting, bank reconciliation. Organizations are getting cash so many different ways nowadays. So that's really where the challenge comes from when it comes to cash reconciliation. So the third story here is about this organization solely dependent on the cash receipts being processed through credit cards. So it's an online business, has huge volume of transactions. It was very difficult to track all the in-transit deposit. There's always that cutoff timing you're trying to deal with your credit card merchant. So essentially with our tool, also reviewing the sales process, like you were suggesting, it was a matter of just tweaking that a little bit to have that unique transaction ID that you were referring to being processed in GP, and then this automatically helped with the reconciliation to the credit card merchant gateway. So by, again, the click of a button, they had a very, very high 99% of their very large volume credit card transaction reconcile. They had instant visibility into the variances, the in-transit deposit, and again, just everything that was done manually in an Excel spreadsheet with macros and a variety of steps was really reduced from hours to minutes. So those are all very, very good stories. I want to take the opportunity to also maybe talk a little bit about some of the topics that might have come up in the live Q&A. So I'm wondering if we can bring Derek on and see if he's got a couple questions that we could address. I think you're on, Derek.
Hello, Carole. Andy, how are you?
Good.
Excellent.
You been watching the Q&A for us?
Oh, I have. And we had one question come up around audit trail, and if you are able to see an audit trail for the user that is actually doing the reconciliation.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're referring to Match ID. Do you want to comment on that, Andy?
Well, yeah. So obviously you can do match IDs and things like that. That's the individual match. But I think possibly what they're talking about is you want to know who did that reconciliation, i.e. the actual individual user. And yes, that is held in the tables, and you can access most of our stuff through Smart Lists. We've got some Smart Lists that come out of the box with it. But yeah, you'll be able to track that down that way.
Perfect.
So far, that seems to be all we've got in terms of questions.
We've got a quiet audience today. That's surprising.
Yeah, I know. People are usually jumping right in there, but it's still early.
It is. I was going to say, it's either people haven't had enough coffee or maybe, the overall session was pretty complete. So I'll go with the latter. Perfect. Well, we certainly have a couple more topics to talk about. So we're just going to maybe proceed with that. Andy, I think today is a great opportunity for us to share with our Dynamics GP community some of the work that we're doing for BC. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so obviously we're very well known in the GP world for our bank rec, for our intercompany, for e-requests and all these wonderful tools. And we get asked a lot of time, when are you going to do this stuff for BC? We want to move on to BC from GP, but we're not going to. We've got the Nolan's products we know and love. So we're doing them. We've got a list. We're working our way through it. The very first of those is just about done. We're in testing. The US team got hold of it last week, and they're testing our statement directs for the bank feeds that are able to pull down from SFTP sites and banks via APIs and things. Testing that at the moment, so that should be being released for Business Central very soon. After that, we're going to do full-blown ABR. That's coming for Business Central, and pretty much most of what we're doing is on the roadmap. It's all going to be coming out one after the other, but watch this space. The rest of it's coming on its heels very quickly.
Perfect. One last opportunity, Derek. Is there any more Q&A in there before we kind of wrap it up?
No, nothing has come up, but
okay.
I think we're all good. A thorough job.
Perfect. Well, I just some final thoughts maybe on ABR. I'll let you go first, Andy, if you want some final thoughts on that, and I will wrap it up after.
For me, I think we should rename it. I don't think it should be called ABR anymore. We've built a bank rec. Right? We built a bank rec, but it's so much more now, and it should almost be an AR. Drop the B. It's an anything rec. So if you can get it into the GL, we can also bring it in and report against and match against that GL account number with things going on. And with the auto create functionality as well, you can actually use it to bring in and create the transactions as well. So yeah, it's not ABR anymore, it's AR. Just think outside the box. What could you use that for?
Yeah, no, exactly. I completely agree with that. And not only is it a very effective reconciliation tool for pretty much anything, as you're suggesting, but I think where we've made some great enhancements in coming for Business Central too is the whole idea of automated bank feed and eliminating that manual step of transferring data from a bank portal or a credit card merchant portal, be able to feed that directly into your GP or Business Central to eliminate that risk of errors and that additional manipulation of files, right? So yeah, so that's also a great enhancement that I think we've been working on, and we're making great ways. So unless there's any other questions that you're seeing, Derek, I think that we would wrap it up.
Yeah, no, I think we got it all covered.
Perfect. Well, I want to thank the DynamicsCon community. Again, as I said at the beginning, this is always great to participate in those events, be part of the conversation. And on that note, feel free to join us in the watch party for the Dynamics GP community. I'll be a host or a moderator, I think is what we're called, on Wednesday all day. So if you have any follow-up questions for the Nolan team, I'll be there, but throughout the event as well. We're going to be there. I purposely put on our slides here the names of everybody that's available throughout the event to chat. So if you want to reach out to us through the platform, or if you want to reach out through LinkedIn or email, feel free to do so. So hope you have a great rest of the event and a great week. Talk to you later. Thanks everyone. Thanks Andy, Derek. Talk to you later.